Business with a servant's heart. Welcome to the podcast. Inspiration, motivation takes. Listen to the podcast. We're all about to talk about life. Our guests will share their life story. We want you to success in life and business. We're ready and we will start shortly. We're gonna talk about life. We're going to speak on business. You're gonna shine bright. We are going to witness. Business with a servant's heart. With hosts Steve, Ramon, and Brady. Inspiration, education talks. Listen to the podcast.
One. Welcome, everyone, to Doing Business with a Servant's Heart podcast. I'm your host, Steve Ramona. I am so thrilled to have you join us today. We dedicate this podcast to exploring the idea of having that servant's heart in your business and in your life. When you approach that way, you can make an impact and a difference in other people's lives. It sounds so cool, and I love doing it. We also created this show to motivate you, inspire you, and educate you so you can go out and serve others and make an impact in your world. How powerful is that? For free, you get to listen to my incredible guest today, get to impact your world. Here's your call to action today. Think about how you're going to serve yourself and others today and what impact you'll create today. And the key word is today. Listen to my incredible guest and then go out doing some service. I know it'll make a difference in your life and you'll actually feel better. And today's episode is proudly sponsored by an incredible partner, Pantheon Alliance. Would you like to be part of an exclusive community of high-income, successful business owners and entrepreneurs from very diverse industries? Together, they're building a thought leader platform to impact and change the world. Well, audience, I love having my young guest here. My guest is under 30. I won't say his age unless he wants to say it, and I may say it during the podcast. But you people out there, you men and women, boys and girls, under 30, you need to listen to this podcast because this is what could happen to you, how you can grow and be an entrepreneur, because it's tough. Whether you're 25 or 63 like me, it doesn't matter. It's tough for all of us. But when you start at 24, as I told my guest when I met him yesterday, he's a rock star and he's going to be killing it. I hate to use that phrase in business because you know what? He's learned how to not recreate the wheel and help others. With that being said, Ryan, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to get going here. And I'm used to hosting a lot of people, not normally guesting, so it's new for me. But
This is great. It's fun. Yeah, I love the other side. So 24, you start a business. Well, probably sooner. What were you thinking?
Yeah, so I started my first business when I was 18. I was actually reading a book called The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss, and I was working as a cashier / barista / dishwasher / floor cleaner for a local coffee shop here in the Bay Area, a rustic bakery. And after I would work every morning, I would take the morning shift, started at 7, get off at 2, so you'd have extra time. I would go back home and I would start reading. And I ended up starting a business helping students in California get their student visa to go study abroad in Spain. I had done 1 year in Spain, did a second one, and had to get my visa the third time. And we were, my dad and I were driving up to the capital, Sacramento, to get the apostille of Hague, which you have to get. It's like a legal notarization that's internationally valid. And on the way back, I asked him, "Hey, Dad, this is 18-year-old Ryan. What's a high income skill that you think I have?" And he kind of smiled. He's like, "Well, you speak Spanish, but that's not a high income skill. Anybody can speak Spanish. But you've gotten your student visa once, twice. Now there's going to be a lot more students that are going to have to do it that only have to do it once. And you've kind of struggled with the process. Maybe if you make a system that can help students get that could help people." And that's what got me started. I thought I'd be a millionaire building that business, and being 18, I felt so much, it was awesome to write founder and CEO in my LinkedIn profile and all that kind of stuff. Right. But since then, there was a few more businesses that I started that kind of, and I don't need to dive into all of them right now, but they all kind of led to what I do now, helping speakers give TEDx talks and get booked on the TEDx stage.
Lesson there, one of the lessons I heard, an audience, whether you're again, 60 or 25, your intentionality of working in the morning so you can build your business and build yourself in the afternoon, that's a powerful thing. Now it could be flipped. Maybe you got to work swing shift. Somebody out there thinking you got to work 12 to 6 or 10 to 6 in the morning so you can work during the day. That's where you're going to be successful. You make those little sacrifices. So why TEDx Talks? Why do you think people should be on a TEDx platform?
Yeah, so I think a lot of people actually shouldn't. For a lot of people, it's a waste of time. I do believe that everybody has a TEDx idea in them, but everybody just needs a little bit of help finding it. When I first got started helping people, I was actually talking to my business partner, and he's much more data driven. I'm much more of a visionary, and he asked me, Ryan, what change do TEDx speakers see in their life before and after giving a TEDx talk? And I said, well, Dane, for me, it was a 43% increase in my LinkedIn in-mail open rate. He said, that's awesome, Ryan, but that's just an anecdote. That's not data. I said, touche, you're absolutely right. So we interviewed 30 different TEDx speakers, and what we found was 8 out of 10 TEDx speakers saw zero change in their life before and after giving a TEDx talk. We thought, okay, that's interesting. What's going on here? And we kind of dove deeper into it, and we found with these 8 out of 10, they were all, you'd say, passive about it. They thought giving a TED Talk was kind of like an easy button, TEDx Talk. They would do a TED Talk. They'd automatically have a multi-million-dollar business. They'd have a 6-figure speaking fee, have 6-figure publishing deals from publishing companies. But that's not how it is. Whereas the 2 out of 10 that did get the, the ROI on the time from doing it and spreading the idea, it was because they were all very strategic and intentional with the exact thing and problem that they were solving for them, their life, their business, that brought them to a goal that they already had.
Yeah, that's it's like a podcast. And I'm going to back up a little bit. Your servant heart, which is why I'm excited to have you on, why I invited you yesterday, is not many people will talk about their business and go, this is not for everybody. Because right now the world is, I'm a coach, you all need me, you all need to pay me. And it doesn't work that way. We all don't fit everybody. We fit some people, and those are the people we want to take care of. So I really appreciate you saying that, especially at a young age where you're not chasing money, but money is important. But for you, it's more important for the business. Okay, so 8 out of 10 shouldn't be on a podcast, which again, I appreciate. Who are the 2 out of 10 that should be?
Yeah, so I would say for someone that can, for them to determine if it's worth their time and energy to actually dedicate to something like that, you have to get very clear on what it would support for you after. And TEDx, doesn't like people to do a TED Talk for themselves. The goal in TEDx's eyes should be the value that the idea that you are spreading from stage carries and has that impact. The speaker is kind of irrelevant. The only way a speaker is relevant is if they are the best vessel for the idea to be spread through. The idea is the priority. And this is just what I've learned from interviewing TEDx organizers on this peak. If you can get clear on what you would like to leverage I don't like to say leverage your TEDx talk for. I would say leverage the credibility awarded to you as a TEDx speaker, because you can't make money from a TED Talk, but you can monetize the shit out of the credibility awarded to you as a TEDx speaker. So it just depends on how you want to leverage that. Is it increasing your speaking fee? Is it getting more speaking gigs? Is it building awareness around a subject that you maybe aren't publicly shown as an expert in, but you want to kind of show that you are a person that they can go to for whatever subject it is that you're talking about. Maybe you want to build a business that helps a certain kind of person, and your idea is exactly for the audience member that your idea targets, and you want to build it off of that. So I'd say if you can't get clear on that problem that it solves, it could be worth your time, but you just couldn't give your time to it expecting an output, getting a return on it.
Yeah. It's like writing a book. You just told the whole story about writing a book. Don't write a book to make millions. Write a book to be that business card or that branding of you. Hey, I've got this book. Love that you said that. And I love that, because people, I'm not going to do TEDx. Maybe 3 years, I don't know. But right now I'm not. It's not fitting my model, but that's okay. You said that yesterday, which really impressed me, that you were completely honest. And, you're not chasing everybody to be a client. Let's back up, because resiliency is needed in a TEDx talk big time, because it's a long process. What did you learned something in a car accident at 17 that shaped your resiliency journey?
Big time. Yeah. So this was, I guess you'd say, like, my origin story. It was August 30th, 2017. It was actually my youngest brother's 10th birthday, and a normal day. This was the 6th day of my senior year of high school. I was driving to school in the morning with my little brother, who was 15 at the time. Everything was normal. I was, thinking, oh, I got to get good grades this year, start submitting college applications and so forth, right? But this day, because I was driving to go pick up my friend that day and give him a ride, I took a different route. And because it was my youngest brother's birthday, my mom was using the big SUV, the Honda Pilot that I was normally driving. So we got to use her car, a sedan. And this car had a sport mode. Being a stupid 17-year-old, we're driving to school that morning, and we're going around a windy road. And my brother looks at me and he says, "Hey, Ryan, you think you should slow down?" And me, thinking I was in a bubble where nothing bad could happen to me, that was only for the news and the movies, that could never happen to you, Ryan. I looked down at him. I said, "No, don't worry. Nothing's going to happen to us. Everything's going to be okay." I should have listened to him. About 10 seconds after he said that, we're speeding. I'm going 39 miles per hour. The speed limit is 25. Right as I round the bend, there's a construction truck that's driving right in the middle of the road, or on top of that line. And in that moment, I realized if I hit the brakes, I am going to kill the truck driver, kill my brother, and kill myself. And I realized anything is better than that. So I turned to the right to avoid that from happening. And this decision happened in half of a second in my head. But to the right, there was no road. Fortunately, I didn't kill the truck driver or my brother, but there was no road. There was an 80-foot cliff. Car flipped down the cliff 6 times. We landed on a house at the bottom of the hill, at the bottom of the cliff, which is like a valley, I guess you would call it. And I don't know if you have any siblings, Steve, but I was so lucky that nothing physical happened to my brother. I don't know how I would have lived with myself if something had happened to him. But me sitting just 1 foot from him, I broke my neck, my back, my wrist, my elbow, my collarbone, and I had something which doctors call a traumatic brain injury. And I was in a coma for 1 week. Now, TBIs, they're kind of like fingerprints. Each one is totally unique. Mine affected my long-term memory. The way my doctors described it to me, they said, "Ryan, imagine your brain. The dark matter is like storage, and the gray matter is like the wires connecting the storage. Imagine your wires just were crumpled, torn, scratched, really broken." I said, "Okay, interesting." It didn't allow my brain to access my long-term memory. So I forgot a lot of things that we learn as kids, a lot of memories. Didn't know my parents' names, phone numbers, any of those kinds of things. But the 2 main things that I forgot that I had to spend about a year and a half recovering from and learning again while still graduating high school at the same time was how to walk and how to talk. I forgot how to speak English, which was my first language, being born and raised in Northern California. Interestingly enough, because I lived in Mexico the summer before this, my short-term memory was in Spanish. That was in my short-term memory. And when I woke up from the coma, I could understand English fine, but I just couldn't produce it and speak it. So I could only speak Spanish, which was pretty funny. Yeah. Fortunately, it was Northern California, where, there's a ton of Latina, like, nurses that could translate for the surgeons and the doctors and stuff. But it was always funny having nurses come in and start speaking to my parents in Spanish, and my parents, "No hablo español," typical, like, monolingual, American parent, right? So it was fun. But that was kind of the origin story of what kind of got me out of the system. out of the rat race, so to speak, and got me thinking, okay, hey, there's something out here besides just going to school, getting good grades, and going to a good college, getting a good education, then getting a good job, then buying a house, a car, a wife, kind of the typical rat race things. This really opened my eyes to, hey, like you can go so far out of this system and you'll actually be okay. It might
Yeah.
not be easy. You'll be okay.
Great lesson. You had to go through a tumbling down a cliff to do that, unfortunately. But
Yeah.
all of you out there listening can learn from his lesson. You don't have to go down a cliff to learn that. And you're a white guy to speak Spanish. I'm looking at you because I'm white too. Like if I start just speaking Spanish, people just nature of human. Like, well, what the heck?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're doing good, right? Everything's good with you. I know you're 24 now, so
Yeah.
it's 7 years. So all good. And God, God bless. And yeah, and thank you for sharing that story. Sometimes you ask for a story and you get something much bigger than you thought. And I did. And I might get goosebumps on my arms right now listening to you. And I can see why you're going to become a great business person. And we've talked, I'm going to work with you, help you do that. Talk about your podcast, Speaking to Expand. Love the title. What's the goal? What's the mission?
Yeah. So the podcast started out really to I saw an opportunity. I saw, okay, hey, this is a time to network. I can meet awesome people, have cool people on. But I noticed that there was not a lot of me having gone through this experience, then really wanted to speak on it and share my message. There was not a lot of clarity out there as far as number one, how to get to TED Talk and give a TED Talk. Number two, how to build a speaking business and get on stages, get booked and paid to speak, all this kind of stuff. But there was a lot of people out there that knew how to do it. And it might have just been due to I didn't dig deep enough to find it. It might have been out there somewhere, but I didn't find it. And I thought, man, if I could just have a place, a stage where I could interview people and take all their knowledge from their experience and put it as if I was talking to them at a local coffee shop, wherever I am, I would spend so much time just listening to these people to learn how to do these things. And so that's how it was, from that kind of pain point, that I thought, man, if I could have just gone here and had this, I would have loved to spend hours listening to it to learn how to build the speaking business and all this kind of stuff. And that's kind of what it ended up being. Was we target aspiring speakers, professional speakers, and entrepreneurs who speak to grow their business. We interview TEDx organizers, professional speakers, and business leaders. And then we have entrepreneurs, guests that have services relevant to our target audience, like speakers bureau, decision makers, ghostwriters, that kind of thing. But the cool thing about it, Steve, is I'm learning just as much as the audience while I record and while we have these guests on. So I know which questions to ask because I know the pain points just as well as other people that are experiencing those things. So it's just as valuable for me live as it is to people that listen after we record.
Podcast, you mentioned something that's very powerful. Being a host is being educated. That's why one of the reasons I love being a host. You've taught me things. Every guest will teach you something. So that's a little note for you out there. Have a podcast or want to do your own podcast. Selfishly, we're happy because we get to learn some things. At 63, a 24-year-old guy could teach me a lot, and he has, just in the few hours we spent together. Got a personal and powerful question. You'll answer it because you're pretty open. How many times did people tell you no and say, Ryan, you can't do that?
Yeah. Regarding something specific or
Business,
just in
just
general?
business and, your own company and things like that.
Yeah. So I think for me, it's almost like a stupid certainty in myself. I don't want to call it confidence because confidence, I think, comes from having enough results where you can do it. Like it's actually for a reason. I think if you don't have that, then it's kind of just arrogance. Mine wasn't, it was definitely arrogance, but it was also just certainty, ignorance, and arrogance in myself, of knowing, hey, like I can do it. Like someone would tell me no, and I just say, oh no, you're wrong. You just don't know you're wrong yet. And it was just kind of that. But I think with building the business, growing it, and then pivoting, and then starting one business, which led to another business, which led to another business, which led to finally getting a 9-to-5 in sales for a company I was working for. Then teaching me the skills to then leverage into building the business that I have now. I think for me, the rejection just doesn't matter. It's just, okay, it's not for you. You're wrong. You don't know it yet. I guess I never took.
You didn't listen to him, is what I'm hearing from you. You're like, hey, you can't do that. You're 24. You're starting your own business. You're crazy. You're like, next. That's what I say in my head.
And and I
Go
think
ahead.
for me, the one belief that I think it was actually my dad, my father, who instilled this in me, which definitely functioned as a fuel to get me to go quick at starting it when I was 18, was he said, Ryan, you're 18 right now. Everybody you reach out to that's a professional older than you will want to help you right now if you ask, and they will be happy to help you. But this will only last until you're 25 years old. The moment you turn 25, you will go from, okay, I want to help this young entrepreneur, this young kid, to, no, you're competition now. And you gotta put your mark before you're 25, because at that point it won't be other people trying to build you up. It could be your competition, right? Whatever that means. And so for me, that was, okay, Dad, I understand. I gotta get going quick because I only have until I'm 25. And that it was that belief that kind of put that hustle under my feet of that timeline, because I know some friends that I spoke to, and I have my whole life to figure that stuff out. I'll start a business when I'm 40 or 50 or 30. But I don't know. I don't know if they will.
He's a
So I think
timeline.
I owe it to my dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the timeline
Exactly.
thing is exactly, if he said 45, it's just we're human, and that's what we do is 40, like your friends are saying. It's a great story. And what's your dad's name?
Bill.
He's not around anymore, correct? If I remember.
Bill. No, he's
No,
still
Bill,
here.
he's
Yeah,
still around.
he's still
Okay.
around.
Well, shout out to
Oh, yeah.
Bill for that wonderful tip, because you just shared it as a servant's heart. You shared it out to the world of, so you're 24 and under, you're getting out of high school, you're in college. A ton of college students have businesses. Right now is the greatest opportunity to start a business for any age. You've done it multiple times and you just have resilience. We're coming to the end here. Somebody under 30, what's one tip you'd give them to help them moving forward?
Moving forward with what?
Their business, or wanting to start a business, or their life.
Yeah, I would say right now in life, you have two of the biggest assets that you will never have again. Number one is time, and number two is you have nothing to lose. So why not?
Well said. I love it. Well, let's have some fun, because this is a little serious, which is important. And again, thanks for sharing that story. Re-listen to this again, audience, that resilient story of that cliff. I will never forget. I'm going to share it with others and show the ROI. I hate using that word, but that's a elephant in the room with everybody. If we don't get a return, it doesn't happen. So you've got a reservation in a restaurant. There's a table of 4. You're sitting in one of the chairs. We'll leave one for your girlfriend too. Let's not take your girlfriend out. So there's 3 people you need to invite. Who would you invite, dead or alive? Why would they be invited? And what food would you order?
What's the restaurant?
Your choice.
What's the goal of the dinner?
You want to be educated and learn about people that you don't know anything about them.
About the people or about
the people?
just
People that you looked up to, that you'd like to sit down for 2 hours and ask them questions and learn a lot.
Okay. So one would be, so I'm very future focused. I definitely have taken some energy and effort to slow down and kind of focus on the now recently, but I would have Elon Musk as one of those people, to ask him about where he sees the future of space travel, space entrepreneurship, space infrastructure, all that kind of stuff. Because I don't know if there's a lot of people out there besides him that know it. And if there is, he would know who they are. So I would learn from him who those people are. Because I think that's going to be a huge opportunity over the next 50 years, space, right? Whatever that may look like. So I think that would be one. Number 2, I would have I'd have a guy named Patrick Bet-David. So what I think, he has gotten really good at is building a media distribution entity of valuetainment. I think, whether you like what he thinks and says or not, I think he's really done that well. And so I would learn from him, hey, how did you do this? What did you do here? Where do you see these things going? To kind of prepare for the future, whatever that may look like. And because it is free advertising. I mean, once you have your own media distribution, like you and your podcast right here, it is free advertising. You said 3 people, right?
Yep.
Then I would have my grandma, who passed away 4 or 5 years ago now. When I was in the hospital, recovering from the car accident, my grandma and grandpa came and visited me. The surgeon, like, did some therapy with me, and then my mom and her dad, my grandpa, were talking outside my hotel room, and my grandma was in my hospital. Excuse me, not hotel, hospital. I always confuse the two, but felt like a hotel. She was in the hospital room with me, and I was watching some TV. There was like an earthquake going on in Mexico at the time, and I look over at her, and she looks at me. She just smiles, and she says, "Hey, Ryan, I'm gonna help you out." And I don't think anything of it. It's really, whatever. I don't know how she was gonna do that. Later that day, I talked to my mom and said, "Hey, it was so nice of your parents to come visit me. We were in Vallejo there from, Mill Valley, so it was like an hour and a half drive." And my mom smiles. She says, "Yeah, 100%, Ryan. But it was only my dad. My mom passed away 3 years ago." And I said, "Oh, interesting." So I would love to have my grandma at that dinner as well, to be able to ask her the questions that I am capable of now that I, when she was alive, I wouldn't have been as capable of.
Yeah. What food would you order?
I really like sushi. I like sushi restaurants a lot, and I also like steak. So I'd have sushi and steak.
So I guess I got to build a sushi steak restaurant for you to bring these people in, which is fine because I love restaurants. And sushi's what a great choice because it's easy to talk and eat. Sushi steak might take too much time. Great table. I really appreciate it. Hey, Brian, God bless you, what you're doing at your age. I know I keep bringing that up, but the opportunities are out there and you're taking advantage of it. And you're serving others like you should be and like most people should be doing. And I appreciate that. How can people connect with you and support you?
Yeah, so they could, I think connecting on LinkedIn is probably best. Ryan Brady on LinkedIn. If they want to connect with me on Instagram as well, that could be cool. It's just Ryan RYAN.W.Brady BRADY. It's my Instagram account. They can connect with me over there. DM me any questions they have. We can kind of go from there.
That's fantastic. Again, thanks again, Ryan. This has been awesome. Audience, subscribe to the YouTube channel. As like I always say, take this link, like I said earlier. If there's somebody that's looking to do a TEDx talk, here's your man. He's ready to do it. He's worked with, I think he's got 30 clients right now. So he's got a lot of time, not a lot of time. He's got time and space open. I think after this show, it might fill up pretty quick, which I hope. But still reach out. If you have questions about TEDx talk, jump on LinkedIn, send him a DM, say, I got a question about it. He'll answer it. He's a servant's heart. His IP, is intellectual property, is out there for everybody, but you're going to eventually need him because he's got great connections. With that being said, me and Ryan want to thank you all so much for watching or listening to this podcast, and we'll see you on the next episode of Doing Business with a Servant's Heart. Have a great day, everyone.